Hey everybody, Sam here from Sugar Spun Run, and today I'll be showing you how to make blondies. This blondie recipe is a classic cookie bar. It's soft and chewy and so easy to make, there's no mixer required. To get started, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you will need 1 cup or 2 sticks of unsalted butter, and you're going to want to melt this. Now, keep in mind, if you are maybe not from the US and you don't use cups for measurements, you want to use weights instead, I do have all of those measurements listed in my printable recipe. I left the link in the description, so if you click over there, you will get all of your weight measurements that you need. All right, next you're going to need brown sugar. I like to use a mix of light and dark brown sugar when I have it. Today, all I have is light brown sugar, so I'm just using that. It's going to be fine. But using a blend of light and dark can really give you a nice flavor. Sometimes I like to do half and half. We'll add 1 1/4 cups of tightly packed light brown sugar to our butter, and we'll also add a 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar. Give everything a nice stir until your butter and sugars are nicely combined. Now we'll add our eggs. You're going to need 2 large eggs plus 1 additional large egg yolk. We are adding this extra yolk because it's going to make our blondies nice and chewy, so don't leave that out. And we'll also add 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. We'll give this a good stir. All right, we have our wet ingredients nicely combined. We're going to set those aside and we will prepare our dry ingredients. You'll need a separate bowl and you will need 2 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of cornstarch to help keep these blondies nice and chewy, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of salt. We'll give everything a good mix so it's nicely combined. Now we're going to gradually add these dry ingredients to our wet ingredients. I usually like to add the flour mixture in about 3 to 4 parts, that way I'm not adding a ton at once and I don't have a really stiff batter. You'll want to make sure that you scrape the sides and the bottom of the bowl while you're doing this. You want to get all of that flour mixture incorporated in with all of the wet ingredients. You want to have a really nicely combined batter. At this point, your blondie batter is ready to bake. You can put it in a pan and bake it at this point. That would work totally fine, but I like to add a few extra additions to my recipe. You can add up to 2 cups of your favorite add-ins. Today, I'm going to be using 1 cup of coarsely chopped walnuts and a cup of white chocolate chips. And we'll stir these into our batter. Once you've got everything combined, your blondies are ready to bake. You're going to need a 13x9 pan, and I like to line mine with parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can just grease and flour your pan instead. And we will spread our batter evenly into our prepared pan. So by now our oven should be preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So we'll bake our blondies in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean or with a few moist fudgy crumbs. You'll want to let these blondies cool until they reach about room temperature. I do like to serve mine while they're still warm, but you don't want them to be fresh out of the oven when you cut in. And now that I've let these cool for a little while, I'm going to dig in. That is how you make the best blondie recipe completely from scratch. I think you guys are going to love this one. It's super easy. If you try it out, please let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.